Okay, so we are recording, and welcome to our session tonight. Find joy at work, make 2020 your best career year yet. All right. So, before we jump in, we are going to do a poll. I want us to level set so we know where you're starting from. Okay? So, the first poll that we're going to do is this one. So, I'm sending it out to you right now. And what I'd love for you to do is to answer this question. What level of clarity do you have for how you will create joy in your career this year? All right. Okay, we've got 20 seconds left. 20. Okay. Go ahead and choose an answer. What level of clarity do you have for how you will create joy in your career this year? The options are 0, not a zilch, or I have a vague idea, or I know what I want to do, have, or become, or I'm rock solid in my vision and plan and I need some motivation, or hear me roar, I am rock solid in my vision, plan, and motivation to act. Okay, a couple more seconds here. Cast your vote, cast your vote, cast your vote. Okay. All right. So it looks like I don't know why the rest of that answer is not showing up, but I know what I want to do, have, or become. But the rest of that statement is, but I basically I need some help developing a plan. All right. Oh wait, here we go. Share the results. So now you should see them. I know what I want to do, have, or become, but I need some help with my plan. We also have, so that's almost 30% say I have a vague idea, and 14% say 0, not a zilch, and 14% say hear me roar, rock solid in my vision, plan, and motivation to act. So welcome. Thank you for sharing your energy with us today. All right, this is how we're going to go. I'm going to share a little bit about CLC, Compassionate Leader Circle, and myself. We'll talk about soul work. We're going to identify your pivot type. We're going to do a visualization. I'm going to guide you through a visualization and development of your personalized plan. You're going to learn about the proven pivot with purpose method. You're going to learn about the career accelerator that we've got starting February 18th. And then you have an opportunity to register for the course, of course, and change your life forever. All right, so Compassionate Leader Circle, we are your hosts this evening, and we offer 3 different types of programs for individuals and companies. So on the far left, you'll see the Pivot with Purpose Career Accelerator. This is really where we're focused tonight. We also offer leadership development programs, both for individuals and at the corporate level, and we offer Compassionate Leaders Circle coach training for folks that want to develop compassionate coaching skills. We've worked with people, a number of different people from various companies as well as various organizations themselves. Last year we did quite a bit of work with Cornell and DU. We've done quite a bit of work with consultants in the past, and you can find us on Forbes.com, and we've had some exposure on NPR as well over the years. All right, so I'm Kelly Dwyer, Director of Learning at Compassionate Leaders Circle. I'm a leadership, well-being, and career coach. I work with professionals, business and tech professionals. I have my MBA from Cornell. I've had the pleasure and honor of working for a number of venture-backed startup companies, high-growth companies. I had an outdoor yoga adventures business for a few years, and I've worked across an organization, so I have an understanding of how various functions within a company interact with one another. All right, so you'll see the title on this slide. Is meaningful work important? So really, as you know, you're here ostensibly because you believe that meaningful work is important. But what the research is showing is it's proving that, it's supporting that. And what the research has shown is that raises and promotions are more common for employees who have meaningful work. Employees who place a higher value on meaningful work are found in more senior skilled positions and they stay longer. And purposeful work leads to increased levels of commitment, empowerment, satisfaction, and a sense of fulfillment. Who doesn't want that in life, right? Okay. So this is a model that we use quite a bit at Compassionate Leaders Circle. We call this the umbrella. And you'll see that there are a number of different types of work on this, in this graphic or on this diagram. And outside, so you see there's an umbrella. And outside of the umbrella, it is raining, right? And we place what we call unremarkable work outside of the umbrella. And unremarkable work is work that is not sustainable. It's work that leaves you drained at the end of the day, leaves you complaining in your off hours. You're complaining to your partner and your friends and your family members about your work. You find that, on the weekends, it's all you can do to recover. Good luck going out and socializing, because all you can really do is find it's hard to get off the couch at times, right? Now, under the umbrella are two different types of remarkable work. Bridge work and soul work. And so soul work is really what we aim for, okay? Soul work we define as the best use of your passions and purpose, all right? And we believe that everyone can find and do soul work. The other type of work that's under this remarkable work umbrella is what we call bridge work. Now, bridge work is work that leaves you with enough resources to pursue and do soul work. And when I say resources, I mean time, money, emotional energy, motivation, right? So some of our clients, their soul work, they discover might not actually be something that they could ever really make a career out of. So maybe their soul work is to be a parent. So in their case, bridge work is really going to be the work that they do to pay the bills and bring home the money and to support them in pursuing and doing their soul work, which is to be a parent. Other clients that we work with may come to us in a position where they are in a job that is highly unremarkable. They are out in the rain. And before they actually can even pursue, like they do their best to pursue the soul work, and what they find is that we support them in first moving into a place of bridge work, and then to go deeper around this search and planning for soul work and discovery of soul work. So now what I'd love to do is hear from you on what, oh, please tell me I wasn't sharing that the entire time. Okay, so come here, and what I'd love for you to do is answer this, okay? What kind of work are you doing right now? Are you doing unremarkable work? Are you doing bridge work? Are you doing soul work? Okay. We've got 66% of you have voted, 77% of you have voted, a couple more people. What kind of work are you doing right now? Are you doing unremarkable work? Are you doing bridge work? Are you doing soul work? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Share the results with you. So it looks like the majority of you are actually already doing bridge work, with almost a third of you in unremarkable work, and a lucky person doing soul work. Okay. So now we're going to move into pivot types. Now, what I would love, before we do that, there is an opportunity for question and answer, okay? And I would love for you to type in your questions, whatever questions you have, as we go through this presentation, as we go through this time together. Whatever questions you have, put them in the Q&A, and I will answer them as we move through our evening, okay? So pivot type. We have identified 7 different pivot types. So these are pivot types. These are basically when our clients come to us, they usually fall into one of these 7 categories. They do fall into one of these 7 categories. So the first one is learner. If you're a learner, you're someone who you know that you need a change, but you're not quite sure what that is, but you really know you need a change. If you're a liker, you really like your job, and you feel like it has potential to be a job you could love, and you're not ready to leave your job, and you want to spend some time trying to make that job into to really mine the full potential from that job. If you're a leaper, maybe you're in a current job search. Maybe you know that it's time to move on to a different company. Maybe there's a toxic work culture where you are, and it's time to find a new home for yourself doing sort of the similar work that you're doing now. And so you want to change jobs. If you are a Lancer, you are either currently a freelancer, so working as a contractor, working for other people, usually on a project basis or on sort of a part-time basis, hourly. Or you want to start a freelance career. If you're a launcher, you're someone who wants to start a company or start a new division within your company or within a company, maybe grow a nascent venture into something bigger. Maybe you want to start a nonprofit. If you're a leaver, you're someone who is, every one of these types is focused on what's next. But if you're a leaver, you're focused on how can I, as I make my transition, how can I create a legacy? How can I leave behind something that's meaningful? So maybe you're a CEO and you're transitioning, you want to transition out of your business. So it's about succession planning. Or maybe you're moving into retirement and you want to find a way to leverage your resources to create a legacy. If you're a linker, you are committed to 2 or more of the other types that are listed above. So if you're a linker, what you're looking to do is create a holistic vision for how you can incorporate 2 or more of those types from above into your future and creating a plan for that. Okay. Thank you, Peggy. All right, so let's move on. Now, so where are we at on time here? Oh, here we go. So, good. One of the things that makes Compassionate Leaders Circle different than other coaching programs or coaching companies out there is that we combine curriculum with coaching and with contemplative practices. Okay, so we're going to spend the next 15 minutes or so moving through a contemplative practice. So I'm going to give you an experience of a contemplative practice. All right. And what we're going to do tonight is create a mind map. I don't know if you've ever worked with one of these, but on the left, you'll see sort of a sample mind map. And why are we using the tool of a mind map in this exercise that I'm going to introduce in a minute? We're using that because the research has shown that people who can vividly describe or picture what it is they want, they are anywhere from 1.2 to 1.4 times more likely to accomplish that. So 1.2 to 1.4 times, that's 120 to 140% more likely to accomplish what it is they want if they spend the time to create that vivid picture in their mind and be able to then describe it. So the way we're going to get it, before we dive into the mind map, what I want you to do, we're going to create a wheel. what's typically called a balance wheel. You may have experienced one of these. So I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pen or a colored pencil, and I want you to create a circle and then create 2 lines, right? So I want you to create 4 pieces of the circle, and I want you to label each of the pieces of the pie with these labels. So one piece of the pie will be labeled passions and purpose. One piece will be labeled love and relationships. One piece will be labeled career and finances. Another piece will be labeled health and well-being. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. Okay, so once you have these areas labeled, before we move to that, once you have these areas of labeled, I want you to answer this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, 1 being very low, even 0, how would you rate your satisfaction in each of these areas? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your satisfaction in the area of passions and purpose? How would you rate your satisfaction in the area of love and relationships? How would you rate your satisfaction in the area of career and finances? And how would you rate your satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, in the area of health and well-being? So put a number to it. You can put the number inside the puzzle piece. You can put it outside the pie, near the label, perhaps. And then what I want you to do is to fill it in. So you'll see here in this example, passions and purpose, this person rated it level 3. And so you want to imagine where on that line from the center all the way out to the edge would be 10, the center would be 0. Imagine where 3 might be, and you draw kind of a line there and then fill that in. And you do the same for each of those sections. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. Okay. So now what I'd like you to do, I'm actually going to turn off my video, okay? And I want you to close your eyes, right? Get comfortable, close your eyes. And of all of the opportunities that you've identified in those 4 areas, hold on, I'm sorry, I skipped a step. How did I do that? Okay, all right. Apologies. So okay, so what we're going to do next, you've got your numbers, you've got them colored in. So now what I want you to ask yourself is, what would need to happen in each of these areas in order for that number to move to a 10 or closer to a 10? Okay, so in this example, this person's a 3 in passions and purpose. What would need to happen in their life in the areas of passions and purpose in order for that 3 to move up to an 8 or a 6 or a 7 or a 10 even? Okay, so identify what would need to happen, write it down in each of these areas for your score to move up to a 10 or closer to a 10. Okay, so now here we go again. Of all of the opportunities that you've identified, which one of those, when shifted closer to a 10 or to a 10, do you believe has the potential to bring the greatest joy in your work in 2020? Okay. So now I invite you to close your eyes and just suppose that it's December 31st, 2020, and you've gotten what you wanted. What do you notice? Who do you see? What sounds are you hearing? What are you doing? How do you feel? Write your answers down, allowing yourself to create a mind map with your answers, drawing connections from one word to another. If you feel the urge to add arrows, to add pictures, who is benefiting from you having gotten what you wanted? Who else benefits? Who are you when you've gotten what you wanted? Who are you becoming then? Why is this important? Now that you've got what you wanted, what has changed? What becomes possible then? What does it bring that's even more important? What skills of yours did you use to get what you wanted? What skills did you need to build to achieve what you wanted? Looking back from December 31st, 2020, looking back from then until today, what steps did you take to get there? Of all those steps, what is one step you are ready to commit to taking action on now? And how might you deepen your commitment to taking this one action step? Sometimes that includes getting more specific about it. So you might have said you're ready to commit to starting to do research on a job you're interested in or a field that you're interested in. So when I ask you, how might you deepen your commitment to taking this step? You could get more specific, like, I'm going to go spend 30 minutes on this exploring online, Googling, going to several websites of companies that I know of that are in this industry, and just beginning to educate and inform myself. That might be one way you can deepen your commitment to an action step. Another way you might deepen your commitment to an action step is perhaps to increase the accountability to it by sharing it with someone. So you could share it with a best friend or share it with your partner. So that one step you're ready to commit to taking action on it now. Identify how you can deepen your commitment to taking that action. And now I want you to answer, by when will you take action on this? And then how will you know you've achieved success with this action step? What evidence, what evidence will there be that tells you you were successful in taking that action step? Okay. I hope that was enjoyable for you, interesting, enlightening. All right. So, in the chat, now I believe that everyone has access to the chat under more. In the chat, I would love for you to share the action step that you identified. And it doesn't have to be that you're going to take it in the next 7 days. You've identified what the time frame is. What is that action step you're going to take? Share it in the chat, please. I'm going to, here is the chat. Share your action step here. So this is one way to find some accountability, letting others in on what you're taking action on, what you're planning to take action on. Okay, while you do that, I haven't seen anyone put, oh, there we go. There we go. We got one. We got one. Nice. Hakomi certification, research Hakomi certification. Anyone else want to share their action step in the chat? You can find it under more. So if you move your mouse around on the screen, you should be able to find it under more. Okay. All right, moving on. So so now I want to share with you a little bit about how we work with clients who are looking to make a pivot. And if you are committed to finding more joy at work this year, this is a great first step. So we meet for 8 weeks and it starts February 18th. You can take the class live, and I'll tell you more about that, or you can take it at your own pace. Now, we have some proven outcomes, and I'll show you some data here in a minute, but the outcomes that you can expect from going through this program are new options and a clear vision and purpose for your work. You can expect a supercharged soul search, job search, or business plan. You will work on a project you complete a project related to your soul work, and you will get into action with clarity and confidence. Now, so these numbers are from our participants who went through our programs in 2019. And we ask, so before the program starts, participants fill out an assessment. At the end of the program, participants fill out an assessment, and there are some of the same questions on both of them, but not all the questions are the same. And we measure how people rate themselves on how they feel about their career vision, how they feel about their career plan, and their level of career productivity. And what we have found is that by going through the program, participants experience 106% improvement on the clarity of their career vision, 127% improvement on the solidity of their career plan, and 114% improvement on their career productivity. And I included the statistical analysis, standard deviation there, so you can see that even on the low end, participants are still experiencing 80 to 100% improvement in these areas. So that's pretty, and these are statistically significant. So the program works, okay? Feel free to pop in some questions if you have them, okay? And how does it work? Like I mentioned before, at Compassionate Leaders Circle, we use a combination of curriculum, coaching, and contemplative practices. So the curriculum is the Donnellon method. It's based on the Donnellon method, and that was created by my colleague Laurel Donnellon. And and the method itself is broken into 3 different sections. So in the first part of the program, you're going to dive into the past, and it's all about reconnecting and being connected with your inner self and sort of that the strength that you have inside, and building awareness of how you got to where you are today. And then in the second piece, we focus on really looking at all areas of your life. So we look at your health, we look at your relationships, we look at your relationship to prosperity, we look at your passions, right? And then we move into the third phase of the program, which is about the future. And this is about taking everything that you've excavated in the program and all that you've learned through the actions that you've taken, the research that you've done, the coaching you've received, the experience, the learnings and insights you've gotten from your cohort mates. And we put it into building that vision, further clarifying the vision, and really beginning to hone the plan and create the commitment for moving forward. So the program itself, like I said, it's 8 weeks. It starts February 18th. It runs through April 7th. We have 8 live sessions on Tuesday evenings. They run 90 minutes, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We record all of those sessions. So I mentioned earlier, you can do the program at your own pace. So we've had participants who don't come to the live sessions. Instead, they watch the recordings and they work through the workbook. Okay, you'll see down there. So each participant gets a workbook that has exercises and the curriculum that moves through the model that I just explained to you. So we have the live sessions. You can watch them after the fact. If you miss a session, each participant gets a one-on-one coaching session with me as well. There are pre and program assessments, like I mentioned before. We've got the special workbook and the curriculum that we've created. Laura will be joining us for 1 or more sessions as a special guest, and we may have additional special guests for you as well. We do have a private group for communication with the cohort, and I'll be dropping in advice and tips and tricks. The program itself, you can pay in one lump sum, or you can break it into 3 payments. And so the program price is $11.97, or you can do 3 payments of $447. And there's a discount code that's coming up here shortly if you stick with me. So what you can do is, in terms of next steps, I'm happy to meet with you for a 30-minute career strategy session. That's complimentary. You can sign up for that on my calendar using that link. Or you can register, go ahead and just jump on in and register for the 8-week program. And you can use that code, Pivot200, to get $200 off the session. Now, that code expires January 24th, which is this Friday. So go ahead and sign up. You can either sign up for a career strategy session or the 8-week program, or both. I'd love to chat with you. Now, I'd love to hear what questions you have. So Peggy says, I'm looking to transition to soul work in my retirement. Not sure what yet and how to start. My current job is extremely challenging. I'd love to hear, Peggy, how this session helped with that. Now, I've got another poll for you, and I'm going to share that now. And I'm curious to know, how was this session of value for you today? You can choose all that apply. So you can choose one or more of them. How is this session of value for you today? I have more clarity on what I want to do, have, or be. I have a better plan. My motivation and level of commitment is stronger. Or you could choose, I need more of any or all of these things. How is this session of value for you today? Okay. I'll give you a few more seconds. We've got about half of you who have voted. How is this session of value for you today? Please share. And if it wasn't of value for you, click I need more of any or all of these things, because I'd like to know that too. If it wasn't of value for you. How is this session of value for you today? Oh, looks like we've got a hand raised. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll and share the results. Okay, so it looks like for at least some of you, your motivation and level of commitment is stronger as a result of the session today. Okay, so go back here. Okay, stop sharing. I'm going to stop sharing here. All right, so Dolores, I'm going to open up. I'm going to allow you to talk. Is that okay? So I'm allowing you to talk, Dolores. You're still muted, though. You'll have to unmute. I would love to hear your question. And by the way, I love seeing you in the session, having you in the session. And if you don't want to talk, so I can't hear you because you're muted, can I? But I don't want to go ahead and unmute you unless you're in a place where you can talk. Otherwise, put the question in. Oh, Dolores said, I could not see the poll. Okay. All right, so here we go. I'm going to lower your hand. Let's try that again. See if we can do it. Relaunch poll value, relaunch poll 4. So I'm going to relaunch it. I'm relaunching the poll. Do you see it now, Dolores? How is this session of value for you today? Choose all that apply, multiple choice. Okay. Now, the folks that have already answered, if you want to answer again, that'd be great. If not, I'm assuming, Dolores, those are your answers, that your motivation and level of commitment is stronger and that you need more of any or all of these. Okay. All righty, you all. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. Thank you for joining us.